Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to GSPN's Newcastle United podcast tonight. It is myself, Joanne, who will be hosting. I'm just with Iain tonight, so it's just the two of us. We're going to try and be positive. We're going to get some negative vibes over Izak out the way at the start, and then we're going to try and bring some more positivity because in general, even though we've had a bit of a moan recently, we are generally happy people, right, Iain?
We're leading the clapping. We have started clapping again. We've watched a half decent. Well, sorry, you haven't. I have watched a half decent Newcastle performance today. I'm raising the energy to start a little bit of happy clapping.
Good.
And the big news tonight, broken by the Daily Mail's Craig Hope, about Eddie's attitude to the coming week and training, which makes us even more happy. We will talk about that soon, won't we?
We will indeed. To be fair, let's just cut straight into it because it's what we've literally just watched before recording the pod. So me and my emotional fan state that Kev does say that I am an emotional fan, and I agree, I am an emotional fan. I kind of like riding the waves of all the crazy emotions that the tune throw at you, but this one's been a funny one, hasn't it? The Isak situation's a mess. Quite frankly, I'll be happy to never see him in a Toon shirt again. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. What Eddie's came out tonight though and said is just exactly what you want to hear. It's Eddie's a strange one, isn't he? Because he's always one of those. He's got this like cool, calm exterior all the time, hasn't he? And you probably know underneath he's probably absolutely bubbling and raging at this whole situation, but he's never ever going to say anything. But now, in typical Eddie fashion, he's came out and made a wonderful statement about essentially, long story short, no player is bigger than the club, is he? And he expects better attitude from anyone who wants to train. And you can't expect to have a poor attitude and train with the club, was one of the last parts of what he actually said. And yes. I love that. I absolutely love that because it's true, isn't it? Like, Isak needs to give himself a wobble is the actual, probably the nicest term I can say here, but he's got a lot of backside kissing, hasn't he, when he gets back in Newcastle, man. If he is going to stay here, I mean, unless he's going to try and pull a fast one and not, I don't know, do a visa and imagine refuse to train. That could be the next move.
He's like one of the best politicians in the world, Eddie Howe.
He is,
in that he's able to give solid instruction and advice, general advice, to his current squad and to anybody who is going to come into Newcastle United about the sort of attitude that this club expects from its players. He said that players have to earn the right to train with the squad, and any poor behaviour would negate that right, which is very good because I mean clearly it's all just being said because apparently he sat in the dark about Isak disappearing off the train on his own in Spain. He knows Isak is sitting back waiting for them to come into training on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever they start. And it's tricky, isn't it? 2 friendlies next weekend, and then we're into the Premier League season. And at the moment, there are no other strikers on the books bar Razy Willasula than Alexander Isak. And if you don't score in the transfer window, and even if we do score in the transfer window, those players have to get bedded in. You can't just throw them in up front. So it might be needs must, and that Izak will have to train and play. I can't see it, but he's preparing the environment for there to be a route back for him to do that if it's necessary. Yeah. Really clever.
Well, the squad, they're flying back overnight tonight. So as anyone's listening to this, they will be back in Newcastle. So we're catching some late night flight, I heard. So it's a strange one. So I don't know, will Tuesday be too early to train? Maybe it is going to be Wednesday, but I know you'll probably want to get them in as quickly as possible. Izak is back, from what I've heard, in Newcastle as such. God knows, man. Honestly, it's one of those that I know you've just said I can't see it happening, but I've just got this really strange feeling that I can see it happening as well. But I think the atmosphere is going to be bizarre, to put it lightly. Because can you imagine what it's going to be like in St James's Park with Izak? And get the first home games against Liverpool, I think it's going to be beyond bizarre, isn't it? Like,
It will be
even if
very
there's any
bizarre. It will.
trickle of it potentially going through, him playing against Liverpool of all teams in you know what I mean, if it wasn't complete by then but it was still up in the air and he was still maybe going, I don't know. I'm kind of glad I'm going to be there, and I apologise, Ian, that I haven't managed to get you a ticket yet, but I'll keep trying.
On the telly, I can watch. I can watch
There
Liverpool
we
play
go. You'll
Liverpool.
still, I know.
Yeah, I think they will start. I mean, I know they're travelling back tonight, aren't they? But they're way ahead, so it's already Monday morning if they're still in the air, or they've already arrived on Sunday night because they're travelling back in time as they come back from South
True,
Korea.
they'll probably be in the air right now as we're talking. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if he gives them Monday to get over the flight, I think they'll be in on Tuesday because they play on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Play Friday night, don't they? And then they play again on
Friday night.
Saturday. So there's
Mm-hmm.
going to be, and if it's the same as the other Cellar Cup weekends, it's two completely different teams
It
that
is, yeah.
that play. And has he got enough players to play two completely different teams? Um,
Bringing some of the
I know
kids,
I
unfortunately,
noticed
yeah.
a lot of the kids on the bench were the same kids that were on the bench last preseason, and we never saw them again after that. It just
Yeah.
underlines how threadbare the squad is looking, particularly
Mm-hmm.
when you sell a Sean Longstaff and you've got Joe Willock out injured. Down to four midfielders with first team experience,
It's
and
nuts, man.
we start with three.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never heard anybody talk about what midfielders we want them to get. I know Conor Gallagher was mentioned weeks ago and dismissed straight away, but are we hunting for them, or are we still chasing after the striker?
Yeah.
Because that was a very old back four that played today with Burn, Shah, and Trippier in it, and Target was the youngest. Mm. One thing that was delightful, I mean, we might talk about it the second half a bit more about the match. Lewis Hall came on for the last 15 minutes
Yeah, I saw that.
and looked a bit clunky, but he also looked like he still retains a lot of that sharpness and
Yeah.
the ankle injury he had, it's taken 3 or 4 months for him to get over it.
Yeah.
But he looks over it in time for the start of the season, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. It was brilliant to see. As you said before, I haven't seen any of the match or anything today, so I've been out with the kids all day. So unfortunately, was trapped elsewhere. But I've seen some pictures. I've obviously read about the match. I was asking people about it. I was like asking people to kind of keep us updated with how we were playing and stuff. And the general consensus was that it was probably the best of all of the preseason games. Again, we'll touch on it more in a second. But yeah, it was brilliant to see Hall back on the pitch. And look, come on. And I know you're not one of these fans, by the way, but we'll have to give him that kind of leeway, don't we? He's had so many months off that, yes, he will be a bit clunky. It's just natural. But to just see him back in general, he'll click back into it, man. He's a young guy. He's unbelievable. And I absolutely cannot wait to see him play more minutes, man.
He's
He was a
still,
big miss when
he,
he left, and he's just, oh.
well, I was going to say he still looks less clunky than Target did in the first 20 minutes.
Well,
Um,
he hasn't had many
are,
minutes
are,
either.
we, are we whizzing into the game, or are we going to save the game for a part two, or have we
We
finished
will,
these
yeah.
up yet?
We'll do a Bioniq advert. We'll listen to Ken's dulcet tones, and then we can touch on the match. Yeah,
Those tones are dulcet.
they are indeed. And we're done talking about Isak, so let's not mention his name again. Happy smiley
Yeah.
people, remember?
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN 2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
There we go. Happy days.
There's a little
Right.
5 second gap of silence in the middle of that advert for me in my headphones, so
Is it?
I may
No,
just
I
be
could hear it.
reporting my headphones having a problem.
I think
But
you are. You're fine. Don't
yeah,
worry.
well,
I,
if it's there in the recording, that's for all
yeah,
of our that's for all of our philosophical listeners.
it
A little
is.
bit of spare time for them just to have a private thought. And then Ken came back in.
It is. Oh,
Nice.
bless him. No, right. So thanks to Ken as always. But yeah, we'll kick straight back in to the match. As I was going to say, I was told a lot more positive things about this match, and I'm going to set you off because I know you watched the majority of it whilst trying to work at the same time. But yeah, I did hear a lot more positivity. Started off a bit rough, but again, yeah, the general consensus was that was our best match of any of the preseason games, and in a way, that's what preseason's about, isn't it? You can't expect to just, Celtic game, everyone started like, well, not everyone, but there was a, contingent of kind of fans so that were kind of whinging and moaning. You think, come on, man, it's the very first game. They're going to be a bit rough around the edges. Celtic were way into their training already. So it's just kind of taking it game by game, isn't it? And we've got the Cellar Cup. We've got Espanyol on the Friday. We've got Atletico on the Saturday. So there's a big weekend coming up, obviously, and then the season kicks in. So we've still got that little bit of warm-up to kind of happen. Iain, though, from what you did watch of the game, give us a bit more information. Because, like I say, I didn't watch any of it, so I can't really talk too much more about it, I'll be honest.
Well, I am so tight that because I've paid me money to watch them all, I'm going to damn well make sure that I watch as much of them as I
Fair
possibly
play.
can. So I thought the Celtic game was dreadful, but that's the first game of the season. Understandable.
Yeah.
I think I talked about that myself a couple of weeks ago. We were much better against Arsenal. Lost to a last-minute penalty. That's how close that game was. I thought we gave as good as I got against somebody who is challenging, apparently, for the title, and has already strengthened in various areas this season. So I was encouraged by that. That game against Team K League was, oh, it was dreadful. But
Yeah.
it was super hot, and we were playing a bunch of guys who play their football in those conditions all of the time, and
Yeah.
they were in the middle of their season. So if that can explain that aberration, this
Mm-hmm.
game today against Tottenham was a step forward, if you like, against Premier
Mm-hmm.
League opposition from the Arsenal game. Didn't
Yeah.
look like it at the start. Um, we went behind after 4 minutes. Murphy caught in possession, but someone paid a real suicide ball to him just on the edge of his own box when he's surrounded by players, and he was robbed. Brennan scored a good goal. Um, and after 10 minutes, with another couple of narrow squeaks, I was wondering if it was going to be Tottenham's turn to be us 6-1. Fortunately, that wasn't the case because we suddenly all sort of got our second wind, clicked into action, and played really well for the rest of the first half. Scored a fantastic equaliser um, right from the edge of our own box, a really slick one-touch passing move. Um,
Yeah.
Bruno busting a gut to make a run down the right, which pulled the defence over there to let Barnes have enough time to get the ball, cut in on his trademark right foot, and fire a shot that went in off the post. But unstoppable, really. If the keeper put his hand on it, he'd have broken all his fingers against the post. Um, so great goal. Uh, and really encouraging performances. Anthony Gordon playing centre forward looked really sharp and really eager, keen, chasing down for pressing. Jacob Murphy, once he got into the game, he looked quite sharp. Barnes looked good. Bruno and Joe Linton looked like they were almost approaching match fitness with all of the
Right.
energy. And Joe Linton managed a couple of elbows that he didn't get
I
booked
was
for.
about to ask, did they have an aggressive game? Because in my in one of the group chats I've got with the girls who were all watching it, and they were like, Bruno and Big Joe look like they're like riled up, ready for a fight. And I jokingly said, "Oh, it's the Isak effect." Like they're all riled up because of it, but
Well,
they said like Big Joe nearly broke someone's nose, or it looked like he did anyway, or something. But yeah,
yeah. Romero went juddering into the back of Bruno and brought him down. And as Bruno turned to get up, he sort of grabbed Romero by the throat, like you do when it's
like you do.
Brazil and Argentina. But it didn't
True.
hit him. It didn't. I don't think he got booked for it. I think they just got
Right.
handbags, really.
Right.
Um, Archie Gray, is that right? Is that the Tottenham fella?
Yep.
Who's the? Is it Archie Gray? That's not our
I
Archie,
believe
is
so.
it?
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds right.
Who's our
Oh,
Archie from Man City?
Harrison, isn't it?
I can't remember.
What's Harrison's first
There was a
name?
guy. There's a young lad.
Anyway, yeah.
The young lad that Postecoglou played at centre half for most of last year, and he's actually
Right.
a midfield player. Anyway, he played number 8. He looks a really good player actually in midfield.
Yeah.
He looked really good at centre half last year for Tottenham, but he looked really good at number 8. Aggressive, and he was all over the back of Joe Linton, Joe Linton couldn't
Right.
get his, Joe Linton normally does his turn and shrugs
Mhm.
somebody off and he's away.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it with him. Couldn't do it with him. So there was a little
So
bit
he
of
hit
a
him.
swinging elbow that hit him in the face, but accidental. I'm sure it was accidental because it
Yeah.
wasn't the Newcastle players that were getting the yellow cards. It was a super late tackle by Basuma um, on Asula that
Right.
got
Okay.
a yellow card, and there was another one late on, which was another really nasty tackle. Can't remember who it was. Anyway, Tottenham were a bit rough, a bit combative, I think they would say.
Mm.
The second half, we huffed and puffed. We probably edged it. It was probably 50-50. And it would have been disappointing if we had conceded. But, I think this is a first. Nick Pope was replaced by Mark Gillespie. Don't
I
think we've ever
saw
seen him
that.
playing goal before.
I know. I saw it. Brilliant.
I know. So that's Gillespie and Ruddy have managed appearances on this tour.
Why not?
Um, but what is interesting is that I can't remember his name now. Our new South Korean teenage wonder kid winger,
Young Soo,
Sung
something like
Sung
that,
Soo,
right?
Singer Song of Sixpence, whatever he's called.
Wow.
Him,
It was
he
Sung Soo.
came
It's
on.
close enough, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
he came on
Park
for the
Sung
last
Soo.
15 minutes
There we go.
and looked really, really good as well. He could beat a player.
Yeah.
He's got some skills. He's quite strong. Got
Heard
some
that.
confidence. Did
I
one
like
thing
that.
where he beat Porro 2 or 3 times and
Mm.
knocked the ball back for Bruno to have a shot, which unfortunately just went over the bar. But he could have assisted the winner at that stage. That was 2 or 3 minutes from the end. So I'd love to see him keep his place in the squad and start building that sort of relationships up with the first team squad now.
Mhm.
Um, why wait if he's good enough? And he certainly looked good enough. Maybe it's
I
because he's
agree.
playing in his home conditions, and it might be different on the proverbial wet night in Stoke.
I was
But
gonna say,
yeah, don't do a grand qual and have him in and send him off to some unheard of
yeah,
Dutch team to be sitting on the bench for a season. Don't send him to Hearts. Let's keep him
yeah,
in house and see how he develops in house. Because we've got great coaching staff.
we have. I know. I want to see
So
these
yeah,
young ones
so
kind of develop more.
1-1 ended a run of 5 straight losses for Newcastle, including the last 2 games of last season. So we haven't
Mhm.
lost every pre-season game. I think Isak's situation has been a massive distraction. But what I was really encouraged by today is it doesn't seem to have knocked the rest of our first
No.
team squad much off their stride. Um, they probably all knew it was going to happen in the middle of last season anyway, so
Yeah,
it's not going to affect them. But they do seem to have knuckled down and just got on
yeah.
with the game, which is what they need to do. Whether
But our
Isak's
team unity's been amazing, hasn't it? Really, like for a long time, hasn't it? Really, they talk about people
I think
being
so.
united. We have been that, and I think exactly what you've just said there. The whole Isak situation has been such a mess, but it's lovely to see in a way they've almost banded together even more to kind of prove a point of we're not going to fall apart without him. We're not a one man team. Yes, all right, he is a very important part of the team, unfortunately. And I only say unfortunately because of the situation that we're in right now. I'll be honest. It's a couple of months ago. Would never have said unfortunately, but um, anyway, we'll promise not to talk about him too much, man.
I
No more
know,
Isak.
but then that's part of the beauty of the signings of Alanga, who's already
It
got a
is.
lot of links with the squad, and he'll integrate
Yeah.
really quickly with even if Isak's not there, which was the biggest link, of course. But he knows Asula well. He
Don't think
knows
he needs him.
Willock. He knows
Mhm.
Botman from some
Yep.
training camps when they were all teenagers.
Mhm.
So, and they've stayed in touch. So, yeah, he'll integrate really quickly. Ramsdale, Ramsdale's there to compete with Pope, not to sit on the bench and step in if he gets injured. And he was in the Premier League Player of the Season team, Premier League Premier League Team of the Season 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever he was playing for Arsenal.
Right.
I think he only had one season at Southampton, didn't he? So 2 seasons ago, 14 clean sheets in the Premier League team of the season. He's a good goalkeeper. And of course, he knows Eddie Howe from when he was a boy. So he should integrate in really quickly. He's worked with Nick Pope at England. He'll know Trippier. He'll know the other England players that he's been in squads
Yeah,
with.
he'll be
I
fine.
think they're
He
good
doesn't need
signings.
Isak.
I
Yeah,
don't think they'll settle. I don't think it'll take ages for them to settle in.
no,
We just need to buy Elliot Anderson back.
I'd love that.
Yeah,
Have you seen the
find
Forest fans whinging about that, by the way? Did you hear
really?
what happened with? Yeah,
No.
so basically, Alanga, obviously, one of the many kind of welcome videos he's done, or some of the fan forums that they've done when they've been away. He was kind of asked about, why do you want to come to Castle? All the usual questions that players get hammered with. And Alanga turned around as one of them. And he was obviously just really excited, and he was talking about how much he wanted to be here. And then he was just like, well, obviously I spoke to Elliot, and he was telling us about how I should really move and how great it is to play at St James's Park and stuff. And I was thinking at the time, that's not going to go down well with the Forest fans, if they hear
No.
this. And lo and behold, obviously they have heard it. And now, obviously, again, it's a bit like the minority Newcastle fans who flip their lid sometimes over menial stuff. There's a handful of them who flip their lid going, he needs to get out, we need to sell him, I never want to see him in a Forest shirt again. And I'm just like, oh, come on, dude.
Oh man, that's not
I
right.
know we're freaking out about Izak, but that's a whole different kettle of fish. And this is just a little flippant comment about someone who's proud of being from Newcastle, who's saying, you'll love playing there. You know what I mean? He was hardly saying oh, I don't know. I
Yeah.
was hardly slagging off Forest. He wasn't doing anything bad. But yeah, they've absolutely massively twisted it. So yeah, there's a bit of a kick off about
Until
Anderson and Forest now.
until Elliot Anderson is officially appointed as Anthony Alanga's agent, I think he should get a free pass. Because, of
Yeah,
course, Alanga's got to ask him. He's going to ask
of course. Well,
Wood.
Woody would have asked Wood as well, yeah. Who
He might
probably
even
didn't
have
say
been
as
there.
many nice things, I'll be honest.
He might have. He might have even. I don't know whether his time with John Joe Shelby would have crossed over because Shelby went to Forest a few years ago, didn't he?
Uh, Maybe. Oh no, was he there then
And
though? I
well,
don't know if he
Eddie's
was, I'll
only
be
been there
honest. I
four
can't remember.
times, and he definitely had John Joe Shelby in the first season. So it could
Yeah.
only be 3 years. I don't know. They might have done. Anyway, he'd have said, "What's it like playing at Newcastle?" And then Elliot Anderson, obviously, that's his team,
Yeah, he's not
and
going to
he'd be
slag us off,
thrilled when
man.
he's played. He played
Yeah.
50 or 60 times for us, and
Yeah.
and was always cheered by the crowd because he's one of our own. So he just
He
said
is.
that. What's he going to
He
say?
is.
Oh, that's rubbish. No, it's rubbish.
I know.
He's not going to. He's not going to say, "Oh, well, forget Newcastle, go and play at Bristol Rovers," because he used to call me the
Yeah.
Johnny Maradona. He's not going to say that.
No.
Um, so I think that's a bit harsh. Although, if Forest
It
do want
is.
to get rid of Elliot Anderson, and we need a
Please
midfielder,
come home.
that's
Yeah,
fantastic, isn't it? It'll never
it
happen.
is.
We couldn't
It'll
afford him.
it'll not, but
Oh, we
yeah, we
can. We
can
can
dream,
afford
right?
him.
Ha! Look
We
at
can
that.
afford
Yes,
him.
we can.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
payments will be spread over how many years we want. It's fine. So yeah, but
Yes,
we
Eddie.
can dream,
Eddie.
and it'll not
Maybe
happen. But yeah,
maybe he knows that's what he's doing already. Anyway, that'd
yeah,
be good, wouldn't it?
he's
That's why
doing it
there's
on
no panic
purpose.
for a midfield player.
Can you
No,
imagine?
I doubt
Oh,
it.
I'd be over the moon to see Elliot back. I'm not gonna lie. So, but yeah, I don't think he will. But yeah, we as I say, we can kind of mini dream. I'll tell you what. Should we squeeze a little advert in from Zencastr? Do you want to do that? And then
I'm
I think we'll
ready.
just touch a little bit on the whole Sesco thing and stuff. But I'll ramble on about that after you. So go for it.
Okay. Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description to learn more about Zencastr.
Thank you very much, Iain. As professional as
Exactly to
Ken.
script. Exactly to
It
script.
was. It was perfect. It was word perfect. Well done. Um, so yeah, let's kind of talk about Sesco. 'Cause at the minute, as it stands right now, I appreciate something might happen by the time this goes out in the morning, but I doubt it. It's pretty late. We've obviously bid 75 plus 5. There's talk that that's been rejected. I'm not entirely sure how much money these people want. And when I say 75 plus 5, by the way, I was talking in euros because that's what I've seen quoted. There's obviously still talk about us going in for Vissa, who is still refusing to train. I do not agree with that, by the way. However, at the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing Vissa with us. So if that's the way it's got to go down, then I'll be a little bit of a hypocrite over the whole Izak thing and say, yeah, we'll still take Visser. How are you feeling? What's your kind of gut? Because I said mine on the other day. Kev made us choose whether we thought Sesko would end up with us or Man U. And again, because we've been so down and so negative recently, I thought, you know what it is? I'm going to be a little bit of a happy clapper and I'm going to say he's going to come to us. What do you reckon?
Well, I don't think we should hang about and wait for Manchester United to sell someone and get their money together and
Yeah.
match our bid. I
Mm-hmm.
think we need to up our bid and put another bid in. Can't remember who it was who said there's apparently clauses in Sesko's contract that they would let him go for what we bid.
Mm-hmm.
That's the asking price. I think that was the release clause, 80 million euros, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but there's a slightly reduced price for if certain special clubs come in for him. And it may be that Manchester United has been identified as a special club and they could get him for less than that.
No
I
doubt.
don't know. I would I would show Sesko how much we want him by going
Mm-hmm.
straight back and adding another 5 million to whatever we put in to make
Mm-hmm.
absolutely clear that Leipzig
Yeah.
have got to accept what we put forward. And
Mm-hmm.
then if nothing's happening then we've got to move on, haven't we?
True.
Because
Very quickly.
if he doesn't say yes once Leipzig have accepted our money, then he's obviously waiting for Man United.
100%.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know why he would wait for Man United. He might
It's
be a boyhood
nuts.
Man United fan. He may have been got at by the same hypnotist that talked to Mbuemo and Cunha and made them say that they wanted to play for Man United before they'd even seen who else was bidding for them.
Mm-hmm.
Very odd stuff. But yeah, so my gut feel is we need to put one more bid in and then we'll know straight away because he'll either come or we move on to other
Yeah.
targets. Craig
Yeah.
Hope mentioning tonight the lad at Ramos at PSG might be available. That's exciting. He'd be a lot cheaper
Mm-hmm.
than Sesko, but PSG don't buy rubbish. He would be very exciting. I don't think
Yeah.
Ollie Watkins. He would do a job. We'd have two with Wissa. We'd have two strikers that were turning 30 this season, and that's not helping us for next year. That's two strikers we pay 40, 50 million to get, neither of which has a
Mm-hmm.
sell-on value. I think we can
No.
cope with one of them. I quite like Strand Larson at Wolves. I liked him last
Mm.
year. I think he doesn't get very many shots, but his shot conversion rate is higher than Isak's.
Yeah.
So if we can get the service to him to
I
make
was
him
about
have
to
three
say
or
that.
four
Yeah.
shots
Yeah.
instead of 1.5 shots, he should
Yeah.
score twice as many goals. I do like him. I don't know whether Wolves will want to sell him after they've got rid of Ait Nouri um, and Cunha, of course.
True.
But there are still good strikers out there that are young
There are.
enough to come in and grow. Hoyland's available for 30 million when you think they paid something like 86 or whatever it was for him. Astounding. I think he's a
It
striker
is,
in
but
it with Hoyland. I just think his confidence is just
it's a
shattered.
strange one, isn't it? Such a
But we
strange
would,
one because I don't know. It speaks volumes that they've paid that much and now apparently he's available for 30. I mean, come on. That's
because they
I
need
don't
cash
know.
for Sesko. Because they need the cash for Sesko. I think
Yeah, I know. I get that.
the only reason they've got it.
There was talk of Fernandez going to Al Hilal or I don't know, one of the Saudi teams, Al Nazar or whatever they are. Um, but again, that would be crazy money if they get that sale. And if that happens,
Yeah, but
we
that was right at the
because
start
they'll
of the
just
window,
throw
wasn't it?
money. Oh no, I saw literally something yesterday though, so I don't know whether it's just people
Really?
regurgitating rumors.
Well,
But yeah,
they'll be twisting Fernandez's arm to make him go there because they
yeah.
offered early on in the window and Fernandez didn't want to
And he
go
stopped. I know. And now
and
that
he
they have
didn't
signed
go.
a couple of players, you would think Fernandez would stay. It doesn't make sense from now to kind of get this far in the window when they have actually signed the likes of Mbuemo and Cunha.
They've got to
So
be,
they are looking a bit better, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
but
It's
they
just
still haven't bought a
regurgitate.
goal. They haven't bought a goalkeeper.
No.
They haven't strengthened their centre half position, and they were dreadful in defence. That's a
Mm-hmm.
problem. I mean, I know they had two dodgy strikers last year as well. I mean, they were poor from top to bottom. That's why they finished 15th or whatever it was. But
Yeah.
and I think Cunha and Mbuemo would make any forward line work some of the time.
I know.
Um,
I do expect them to be better
Why
this
would they
season.
spend all of
I
their
do.
money on Sesko up front? I mean, I don't know how they're going to get the ball up into that top
Yeah,
third of the field if the players they've got are the ones that are left doing the rest of it. Anyway, that's Man United's transfer window, isn't it?
it is. It
Um,
is. And to be fair,
so my gut
they've,
feel is I'm going to go with Craig Hope, who says he's got good vibes about Wissa coming, and Wissa's done a little bit of an Isak with Brentford,
he
and
seems desperate to come. Yeah.
we'd be hypocritical if we didn't say we didn't like the way that he'd done that. I mean, I
I
could
absolutely
understand why he
agree.
wants to do it. Apparently, had a gentleman's agreement that he would be released to any team that came in for him if they had Champions League football, and they've gone back on that. So I can
Yeah.
understand him being cross because he's 27 now. Can't remember what Wisser is.
Oh, I thought he was older. Is he not
29
29?
might be older.
He's
Well,
29, yeah.
yeah, he's got to come to Newcastle this year, otherwise he's unlikely to get um,
Yeah.
Champions League football ever, is he? So
True.
that's why he wants to come. So it's the same my little situation that Isak's in. But if we can get him and another striker, it'd be lovely if it was Sesko because he is smashing. I quite like the fact that this PSG fella might be looking for a Champions League team. Ramos, he would be good. Don't know what sort of character he is, but he's just a
No, I've
young
got no
fella,
idea.
24, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but we need to get out and get a centre half, and I think we need two midfielders, but at least one.
Yeah.
That little thing I was talking to you about, which is a bit of a change in plans for the Stanley Rodri Lewis Miley,
Yes.
apparently, has taken place over the last few weeks. Because according to Liam, one third of the Geordie journos, can't remember your surname, Liam, I'm very sorry. Um, he thought that they'd agreed that Lewis Miley was going to go out on loan this season because he needs first team football. So selling Longstaff and Willock being out for 4 to 6 weeks. Let's put the kibosh on that idea. But that'd be
Yeah.
good. Miley started today because they were managing Tonali's minutes. I think he'll get a lot of
Mm-hmm.
football. I mean, certainly playing every game, even if he's coming on after an hour to relieve whoever is the most tired in our midfield.
Yeah.
Um, so we definitely need to strengthen in midfield. Got to do that.
100%. But do you not think this whole striker debacle, let's call it, has taken away from the fact that we need to be looking at midfielders? We need to be. I'm not saying they're not in the background, but there's so little talk about it because of what's happening up front that obviously we're just being led to believe that there's just nothing going on. I really hope there's something kind of fizzling away in the background, but then that boils down to the fact that
Yeah.
we haven't got the right infrastructure anymore at the club. With sporting directors just doing one left, right, and centre, if you know what I mean. So it's almost like we haven't got enough people to kind of set in multiple negotiations at once, if you know what I mean. So,
Well, I think there
um,
might have been some work done on centre halves. That Scalvini has been mentioned. It seemed to be a lot about him, and then it's gone really, really quiet. But then nobody else is going after Scalvini, so
mhm,
maybe he's sitting waiting for us to go and just get him. I hope
yeah, I
they
know.
talked about Geordie Journos talked about that Chow who looked like he was going to Como but hasn't moved yet. He's the
Right,
German. He's playing in Italy, and we really like him apparently. So that might be one that we could just go and get. It might be that they've got some just to go and finish off
mhm,
as and when, but they need to focus on getting the striker thing done.
I know.
Ultimately, if we brought Alanga in to replace Almiron and we brought Ramsdale in to replace Dubravka, let's say, as
Mhm,
rival to Nick Pope, we bring Wisser in to replace Callum Wilson. We are we are strengthening those positions
mhm.
in our squad quite
We are, I know.
significantly. Every time it's a step up. It's just that we are a couple of players short. Um, and as I say, if suddenly there are two centre halves from Italy coming in and they can bring a midfielder, well, they've still got a month to find a midfielder if they get this striker sorted out this week. So
True,
there's plenty of time to get
there is.
a Champions League competitive side or squad put together. See, that's the happy clapper in me coming out.
It's coming out perfectly, Ian. I think, if I'm honest, on that note, we are going to wrap up. We don't want people to get sick of listening to us, do we? We're good 35
Oh, of
minutes in. I
course
think
not.
we've done all right tonight.
Absolutely.
But no, it's been a pleasure. I'll no doubt see you. I don't know what the schedule is. I'll probably see you in the next couple of days anyway. But hopefully we'll have some movement in the right direction, eh?
Well, when they're all back from Korea, and
Yeah.
Isak's back from Spain. We'll probably have one or two things to talk about over the next day or two. That's my guess.
I hope you're right. Simple as that. And on that note, see you later.
See yous.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.